Hello everyone, this is Christy, and today I want to give you a quick tip on how to style ConvertKit subscription forms. As you probably know, this year ConvertKit has redesigned their form builder, and in some situations you in the past used to be able to style the form to make it better integrate with your blog or website. So there were certain ways to add some CSS code to the forms to make them look more in line with your site and the styling and the colors and so on. So the new builder has some styling options, and you can certainly still use the simple form or a much more complex form. And this builder has a ways to customize the look of various elements, but not for everything. So it has some rudimentary functions to style, like the color of the submit button and the fields and such, but it doesn't really allow you to style, particularly the naked form, the simple version of the form that you can embed. It doesn't really have all the style options that one would want. So therefore people resort to various CSS tricks and styles that they add into the form builder, and then ConvertKit injects that style into your page where the form is embedded on your site to make it look like you want. But there are differences in the way the form is styled and the code is injected from the old builder to the new one. So many people find that the style and the little hacks that they used on the old builder no longer work, or at least don't work accurately on the new builder. So I have had a question today from someone who wanted to simply remove the margin and maybe change the color and some spacing, and I wanted to do a little tutorial on how to style the new form, the new naked form for ConvertKit, and just remove the margins, remove the padding, and make some changes to the design using some CSS so that you can copy and paste this and use it on your own forms to better make it integrate with your site. So I'm going to just show you now. I am here on the ConvertKit account and I'm creating a new form here, and I'm not doing a landing page, I'm doing a form, and I'm clicking that. And from all the types of forms, I'm going to use the inline form, and from the template I'm going to use the clean template, or the simple version that has the first name and the email and the subscribe button. That's all it does. So I'm just going to choose this. And probably you know that now on the form designer on the right side you have the form options, and apart from all the other options, incentive and all that, you have the styling tab here that allows you to customize your form. Now in this style panel here you can make changes to some elements. So for example, if I wanted to change the background color of my subscribe button, all I have to do is just click on the button here on the form, and on the right side I can maybe change the color to something like, I don't know, a purple or a red or something, okay? And you can definitely remove the border radius if you want by changing this and saving the form. So you can do these very basic changes. Same thing for the fields, the subscription fields. You can change what field they map to, and the text, the placeholder text on it, and maybe the colors. And the radius. So that's pretty much where the builder stops. You can't do really much else on this. So what if you wanted to remove the spacing around the form? So let me just show you this form. I'm going to embed it onto a page on my website. So I have created a page on my website that has nothing on it apart from a little container that has a orange background and red borders. Just to show you, this container doesn't have any spacing, any padding, any margins. Well, it does have some margins, but nothing else. So I'm going to embed this form into this page so that you can see how much else spacing and padding the default form from ConvertKit adds to the form, and I'm going to show you how to style that and remove it or make it better for you. So I'm going to go back to my form, and in the embed section I can copy the embed code and I'm going to put that onto my page here. After I've added that in my backend code, I'm going to refresh this page. And as you can see now, this form is included in my page, but as you can see, I'm not really happy how it looks. I mean, first of all, it's centered, it's not centered, it's aligned to the left, and I want it to be in the center. Plus, it's adding this powered by ConvertKit link here, which I can remove from the builder. So I'm going to go there and do this now. So I'm going to remove the powered by. All I have to do is click on it and take this box off and save it. Always save it after you make any changes, otherwise you won't see any changes. I'm going back to my site, refreshing that. So now the link has disappeared. Now, what do I do with this form? I don't like the fact that it adds this margin at the bottom there. And I don't like also that it's not centered. So first of all, I'm going to make the form centered just to fix that problem. So in the builder, you have in the styles tab, a custom CSS field. By default, this field is blank. So here is where I will put my CSS code that will style my form. The first thing I do is, as you probably know, in CSS, you have to put your definitions inside curly braces. So I'm doing a curly brace, open and close, and I'm going to add inside it the code margin : 0 auto. Okay, that removes the margin from my form, top and bottom, and makes the margins auto on left and right. This code makes the form centered. So let's see if that worked. I'm going to save this now and refresh my page. Okay, so as you can see now, it has made my form centered. Margin auto, left and right auto in CSS means center that element. So that's the first step. Now the next step is to remove this area here, because apparently margin 0 on top and bottom did not remove the margin here. So why does it do that? Because probably that style only applies to the actual form itself, but not to the fields. So there is another definition that we can target, another field we can target, that will modify the margin on the fields. Okay, so that is, I'm going to just use another definition here, and I'm going to say data element in square brackets. So just open a square bracket, data element, and then open quotes and say fields, close the square bracket, and then star. What this means is the form in ConvertKit, when they embed the form on the page, the form comes with a data element, and each element comes with its own data identification attribute. You don't see those, but they are there in the source code. And I inspected the source code, and a data element fields means target the container, the CSS container, the div or whatever it is that contains all the form fields, and it means the star here, so the greater than and star, meaning target all of the elements inside and immediately descendant to the data element fields, which means the fields, the form fields. So again, opening curly braces here, and we're going to do the same, margin 0. Now, let's see if this works. We may have to actually use important declaration here. So let's refresh the page. Okay, it didn't work. So why? It didn't work because something is still overriding this. So let's just say, no, I really want that to happen. So I'm going to make it important. Save that and then refresh. And right now you can see the margin has disappeared from below my elements. The other thing we see now is that my fields are attached to each other and to the subscribe button, which means that they are because I removed all the margin, they now stick to each other, so they have no more spacing between them. So I want to actually fix that, and I'm going to add maybe 10 pixels between these elements. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to say margin 0, which is the margin top, bottom, right, and left. And actually, I'm going to say margin 0 and 10 pixel. I don't think I want both margins to be 10 pixels, left and right. So I'm going to say 0 and 0, which means in CSS, you have three ways to define margins and paddings and dimensions. You either say one value, which means it affects all sides. You say two values, which means it affects top, bottom, and then left, right separately. Or you can put all four values, and that will explicitly target all of the four top, right, bottom, and left. So they all go clockwise from the top. So this means here that I will have 0 margin at the top. I will have 10 pixels on the right, 0 bottom, and 0 on the left of the element. So let me save and see if that works. Refresh my page. Okay, so now you can see my elements have a 10 pixels on the right side. So my fields have 10 pixels, so they are no longer touching the field next to each other. Okay, another thing I want to do is, because you can see here you have rounded edges, and maybe I don't like the rounded corners on these elements. You don't need to style that with CSS because you can change it in the style. So all you have to do is just tap on the name of the field, on the field there, and remove the radius here with the arrows, and then the same for the other one. It's 0 already. Save. If I reload, they no longer have rounded corners, and the button has the color and the text that I had here. So you can change the color by clicking on the button here, or you can actually change the text on the button. So it allows you to change these things here, but like you've seen, you need to give it a bit of help from CSS to just change the padding, the margins a little bit. Now I hope they don't break these by actually changing the way they do it, but suffice to say, if you find that you're targeting a specific property and it doesn't really work, maybe you need to add exclamation mark important at the end. That tells the browser that CSS must override everything else that you've said, every margin. So if the default form in ConvertKit says it has margin bottom 20 pixels, and then you go and override that and say, no, I want margin bottom 0. But if it doesn't work, then it means another one, or the default definition is taking precedence. So, but if you say important, then for that particular place, it will override everything and do what you say. I hope this helped you. As you can see now, the form looks much nicer, better integrated into the page, and I can do anything I want around it, knowing there is no extra margin or padding to be added around my form. So thanks for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to get more tips and tricks later about ConvertKit, web design, marketing, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.